Pringle here, just about another minute. And just kind of covering what's going on with the market. I'm right now broadcasting live from Florida. I'm here with DTI doing an on-site class. And, like, Jesus, like I was basically going over and educating everybody about the features of Bookmap and what I like to call level 4 and everything. And people just more starting to realize what a great feature it is. But when you get a day like today, when the market's down, a lot of people are like freaking out. They're like, listen, I'm just happy I sold all my swing trades. And I think there's no better time than to start day trading when you see the markets like this. I mean, we basically wiped out 1,300 points in gains in about less than a week. If you look at the Dow and you start seeing what's happening, and it's all about the inflation, and you just, when you think things are good and you're ready to go up and start doing some swing trades, you know what? You got to have the right tools to be successful at it. And that's why I'm really excited about, introducing and bringing Bruce Pringle in here. Now, for a lot of you here, I know we have a lot of cyber group members here, and that it's one of the most, probably, I can't honestly trade without it, the Bookmap platform. And if you ever been to an on-site a class here at Cyber Trade University, Bruce has always been generous to come and take his time and visit us and kind of show all of you how to use the features and stuff. So he was asking me exactly what's the game plan, what I like to do today, and I really just like him to focus on why you need the damn thing, why you got to focus on it, why you need the tools, how this helps you every day, new features that they're implementing into it. So it's just not a strategy, even though Bruce is a trader and he could kind of talk a little bit about his trading style. The main reason why I'm here and have him here is to have him to tell you about all the great features it has. I mean, even I learn a lot more every time I hear him speaking and talking about it. There's just more and more great bells and whistles that come out with it. And we don't need all of them, and obviously depending on what kind of trader you are. Listen, they do options on it, they do futures on it, you can do crypto on it. So there's a lot of great features on it, but it's the tool that teaches you how to read the future and not so focused on the past, where most people do when they start using indicators and everything else. So Bruce is going to kind of really cover the platform pretty well, and I think everybody here is going to realize how important it is. So if you have Bookmap, and you have questions, feel free to ask Bruce when it comes down to asking questions. And if you're new to it, at the end of this presentation, the C2 staff is going to give you guys a promotion code so you can get and demo the platform and use it. Now, there are more brokerage firms doing it that are implementing in it. You can get on Thinkorswim and everything else. But honestly, the best way to do it is get the standalone. I mean, that's really what it comes down to it. So I spoke to Bruce before. I'm looking forward to having him. So without further ado, Bruce, are you there? You want to do a quick audio check?
Yes. Can you hear me?
There we go, Bruce. All right. So Bruce, anyway, I mean, I don't know what more to say, how great your product is, but I know you're going to basically, tell everybody all the great features on it. So for everybody, enjoy the presentation, and it's going to talk about for 45 minutes to an hour. And like I said, any questions, feel free to ask Bruce. Bruce, thanks for coming again, and everyone enjoy the rest of the presentation.
Yeah, thanks, Fausto. Thanks so much. And also looking forward to coming on site, I think next month, right? So always enjoy that, and looking forward to.
Yeah, we have it actually, Bruce. Just to let you know, we had to move the date because I'm getting surgery.
Oh, okay.
I didn't tell you this, but I blew out my knee. I got an ACL and an MCL. And,
oh no.
Yeah, don't play beach volleyball when you're 50 years old. It doesn't work too well. But everyone else, we're still going to move it till January. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, looking forward to January then, and best of luck with the knee surgery there. So, should I share my screen? All right, here we go. And let's get started here. All right, so first off, I guess it's a question is, how many of you are familiar with Bookmap? Like, have you seen it before, or do you have it? Do you have it? Just can maybe get in the chat here, kind of an idea. Okay, wow, All right. A lot of you guys have it. Excellent, excellent. Barely seen it with Fausto. Okay. All right. All right. Well, there's most of you guys, or a lot of you guys have seen it or have it, which is excellent. We're going to go over, I'll just do a quick review here. So, you know, we don't have too much time and the markets are basically closed. So we'll just go through an overview of the product. And then we'll get down into you know, what we see in the order flow and where this can lend an edge by looking at the data here in Bookmap. And you can see, like, we're looking at Apple here. Now, I don't have, these are the stocks that I have up. NVIDIA, these are all large caps, of course, but if you have any ideas, put in the chat there. Anything you want me to take a look at, we can punch it in and take a quick look. But the overview here on Bookmap and what you're looking at, very simple, very straightforward data. It looks complex. We understand that, and you know, to look at this in the AMD, all right, but no small caps, I guess, yet. Well, it doesn't really matter. I mean, everything's moving. So anyway, the data on here, let's just break it down. It looks so complex. It's not. This is one of the features about Bookmap, that the main feature of simplistic data is really the key here, because you can trust good data. From good data, you're going to gather information and you're going to make decisions. And based on that information and your decision making, that's going to lead to knowledge over time, and knowledge over time is going to lead to wisdom. So we want to start here with the simplistic fundamentals here in Bookmap, and this is what a lot of professional traders really enjoy about it. It's not some sort of indicator or time, price, volume, derivative, or anything like that. And let's just start here. We'll take these elements off the Bookmap chart, and we're just going to look at. Well, we'll take even best bid and offer off. Okay, we'll start with the basics, candlestick charts. All right, so this is a candlestick chart in Bookmap. And let's see, this is a 5-minute candlestick chart. All right, so every 5 minutes now, what are you getting? You're getting open, high, low, and close. So you're only getting 4 data points. There's a lot of action that happens within these periods here that you do not have access to at all. Look at this period right here, just before 10 o'clock. And then the big drop here in Apple. What's going on in here? You know, we don't know. We don't have access to it. Now you can add maybe a volume bars on the bottom here, but that's not, it's still not telling you much. You know, we just see that there's some buy volume, some sell volume. This is delta here. It's not all buying, it's buy minus sell. And then we want to really understand, though, what's happening in here to give us insight to this continuation move to the downside. And this is not very transparent at all. So let's turn on one element here, the first element on the Bookmap chart, and that is best bid and offer. Okay, this is going to show you, and let's zoom into this area here. This is going to show you pure price action. Okay, it's not aggregated data within a period here. In this case, it's a 5-minute time period. It does not give you that transparency here. You don't know that this candle here is made up of a move to the upside, a small consolidation, a quick breakdown to the bottom of this range, a small bounce here, okay, and then the continuation move. Okay, you don't see any of that in this candle here. And it's just not allowing you access to that. All these little nuances in here can make a huge difference for managing your trade or entering and exiting your trade. All right, so you can see, you know, all these little details in here. Look at these pullbacks here. Why did they come up into here? It's because of this little swing here, and also is going to be probably a high volume node in here. And that pullback came to it too. It slightly broke it and it went to the downside. So just with best bid and offer in here, we're starting to really see market structure created by the price action, pure price action, no aggregation of data, right? This is already giving us an edge. You can see like how important these little areas are and how the market reacts to these little areas in here. And this is where you're going to start to get kind of X-ray vision and start to zoom in to these areas and start to look for splicing into a trade or whatever the management required. So let's now take the candlestick chart off. It just kind of gets in the way. I mean, you can trade candlesticks if you like. I've done the demo many times over in our advanced education. You can see the development of the candle and you look for the order flow. Like suppose we come down to the bottom edge here in the candle and you start to see the selling really pick up. You're looking for that candle to test maybe down to the bottom of this range here. All right, so you can use it very successfully with candles. It's up to you. For the demo purpose, though, I'm going to take it off and we're just going to look at the pure price action, okay, and the structure created by that best bid and offer. We already kind of covered that. You can start to see some of these areas in here like this and like this. And then the breakdown here, there's these little areas and pockets. Here's a pullback. Here's another area or structure. Okay, very simple stuff. So now what we want to understand, though, is context here. We use this word a lot in Bookmap. And it really, it sounds like it's kind of a cop-out. It's not. It really is about the context of the market participants in here within this structure. So we want insight to that. How do we get it? So let's turn on the volume dots. All right. And so now, and let's bring it up a little bit in size here. Obviously, this is a big dot here at the cash open. A lot of transactions very quickly. So now we have that context in here. Okay, we see that the red dots here, these are market sell orders, and the green dots in here are market buy orders. This is actually a pretty weird order flow in here. To be honest, the market's kind of going down on more buy volume, but this is possible, especially in stocks. We see it quite a bit. Not so much in large caps, but in small caps and thinner markets. And also this move to the way up here and up in here, some back and forth in here, mostly selling with the volume dots here. Anyway, this is more typical here. Market sell order is a red dot. It is the aggressor here. They cross the spread. They're the ones that move the market lower. Okay, typically. A green, and you can see the size of the dot refers to how much traded, how much was selling. A green dot is a market buy order, and this is what lifts the offer and moves price up. So now we have this context in here. Okay, so this is where sellers took control of this market over here, dropped it, and then down in here, kind of hard to read actually, to be honest. We have buying and selling, and a lot of buying it back in here. Here come the buyers in here, coming back to test back to big dot here, also the structure that we looked at here. Yeah, try to trade up into it, Not enough buyers to take this higher. That's the context we're looking at here. Let's just zoom in a little bit more. Okay, see the sellers come in here. See them move it to the bottom of the range here. Look at the pullback again here, mostly selling. This is a little too big. Mostly selling. And then look at the sellers come in here yet again. And look at them pull that market down. Okay, this is your context of looking at the just one level of context, basically, price structure and volume within it. And we're getting quite a bit out from that already. Right, we're starting to understand this relationship in here, and sellers dominating the market and pulling it lower. Down in here, more selling down here, where we actually have some buyers trying to lift it back up. This is where they get stuffed. We see the sellers come in again. The market's going to move away. Right, so now we're looking for lower lows, and now we want to understand another context here. Where's it going? So it's searching for buyers in here. How do we know where there are buyers? Well, we can look at the order book in here. We see that there's in the COB column, which stands for current order book, we can see that 157, we have 45,000 shares here. Okay, 16,000 shares, a little bit below. So that's one way. However, when did they come in? How long have they been in? Did they start adding more or pulling more? This is another level of context we just don't have here. So what Bookmap can show here in the heat map is that context. Okay, there's all sorts of things going on in here. The heat map is showing in here. Let's just dim it a little bit. The heat map is showing with the colors here. So red and orange is very high liquidity. So that very high liquidity down here, these limit buy orders on the bid down at 157 is kind of reddish orange. Okay, very, very high liquidity. Well, there's even higher areas in here and maybe in here as well. Okay, so a lot of liquidity in there. It traded, sellers traded into these buy orders down here, and the transactions took place. We see the big red dots into these areas here. So we know that the transactions are taking place. So now we know where the buyers are. And then, this is why as the price goes down, where's it going? Well, we look to areas of high liquidity. And we look for them to see if they stay in the book. Did they add more? Did they pull, etc.? These guys actually came in a little bit later. Okay, they came in after these transactions took place. Okay, they wanted to be buyers. Then at that point here, now you can see at the cash open when these traders came in. These are larger players, and they just advertise. They park their orders at certain areas and they leave them for the most part because these are the areas they want to get filled. Okay, so and they're getting filled, and now we have this context here. Why is price all of a sudden, it went from very quick moves to the downside, starting to go sideways in here? Well, it's because someone else is absorbing a lot of that selling pressure in here. And there's more on the bid down here. So we get a sideways action for a bit. Then we find more sellers than there are limit buy orders, and we trade to the downside. Okay, so we're just putting this context together and starting to understand this market. Look at this flip of the order book here. Okay, they were on the bid here at 157.50. They flipped over to 157.60. Okay, so this is where they want to be sellers now. This is bearish. Okay, they pulled that liquidity and looks like they probably added down to 157 once price started to move away here. So now we can take a look at the context in here of these. And these are orders here, and these are transactions, and that represents participants. This is a key thing to understand here in Bookmap. It's an auction, and we can understand and start to see the participants in here. Yeah, my Bookmap is pretty much a default setting. So you might be a little different than what you see, or maybe it's the monitor that you're using. Maybe mine's pretty low res, but anyway, it should be pretty similar. If I click on the heat map here and go to default settings, this is it. All right, so the volume dots here, maybe you don't have delta dots. I have delta dot settings here. And smart clustering on a little bit here. Maybe that's the difference. All right, but other than that, it should look pretty much the same. All right, so now we've been looking at this here and starting to understand these elements on the Bookmap chart. And now we're starting to read the order flow, starting to understand who's getting filled on the bid. And look at that little pocket of buying in here, and then they're just getting annihilated in here as price goes lower. Yeah, just it's sold off all day long. Now let's take a look though at the structure here. We're gonna take a look back here at Apple and just look at structure. This is a really important element in here. We talked about these as being the participants and understanding their activities in here. What do players or traders think about this instrument in here? And we can see that well, it's pretty bearish. Let's take a look though at structure. Okay, so in fact, I'll leave the volume dots on. Maybe I'll just make them a little bit smaller here. Okay, we're going to read the structure. So this is a rather key element to understand. Sideways consolidation and the break of that move. Pullback, continuation, sideways consolidation. Now read the consolidation in here. And we can see that in this consolidation in here, there's mostly selling. And even the pullbacks in here, they come up to about here where those sellers came in, and they never get above it. They never get above it. This is telling us a lot. So see the sellers come in right here at this area. They were tested a few times here, and that was it. Okay. Now we're making slightly lower highs here and lower lows now. Okay. There's just not enough buying in here. Right. So we're looking for the sellers to explore this lower, trade into this liquidity. And if they can trade, if they have more market sell orders, and then they do limit buy orders in here, we're going to the next level of liquidity down here at 155.50 and then 155 the figure. Right. So when we put this context together in here of market structure and then the volume and the liquidity, this is when we get that context that we're talking about and starting to understand that, wow, this is a huge drop here, and look at these pullbacks in here. We have a very shallow pullback here. It never even came back up to here. Okay, it broke this little structure, retested back here a few times, and then it just dropped. Okay, so it didn't even come back into this area yet again, right? Never came back. You know, there's no reason to be bullish in here whatsoever. We can look at the volume trading in here, and it is mostly selling. Look at the bars down here. I mean, there's maybe a small green one here. That's it. I mean, this is just kind of screaming at us here that there's a lot of selling in here, and we're looking for it to go lower in the order flow. The market, it is the orders, it is the participants that are telling us this, and we're looking for this move lower. Okay, so as we continue on, we continue to hit down into this liquidity. We get little bounces out of these areas in here. And then here after 3 o'clock, we finally get down to this 154 and 153.50, but it really kind of bounces around here at the close, which is pretty typical in the close. There's a lot of volatility in here. Now, funny enough, at the close, look at the covering and look at the buying starting to come in here. Still more selling. Okay, but you know, some buying starting to come in here, some buying. Now we're starting to break the structure here a little bit, but this is during the close here, so it's kind of it's a different animal basically. And look how it closed here. Okay, it closed kind of middle of the range here, and a big red dot. All right, so you were still bearish in general. Like you can't, you know, if you see something, and this is something you'd have to study. And I'm sure Fausto, I know with his closing bell strategies, has many, and how you can start to read the transactions here at the close. And if the structure is broken and maybe it comes up into these areas and you just see tremendous buying in here, that's telling you something too, okay, for the next session. I'll leave that one to you guys to take a look at and study. How do you adjust the time frames? Okay, Milton, I am just zooming in and out with my center mouse wheel very quickly, or also here, I can zoom vertically. This I'm in drag mode, basically. I can exit drag mode by clicking that, and I go back to current market right here, which is this vertical white line. All right, so, all right, and obviously the market closed here at, you know, the cash session at least closed here at 4 o'clock East Coast time. So now to go into drag mode, now I'm using Bookmap 7.3 version, and I would recommend, that is the production version now. So I recommend that you upgrade to that version. There's a lot more new features in here. And you can just simply left click, hold, and drag, and you'll go back to any area that you want to go see here. You can still go vertically here, drag vertically, or zoom vertically, you can still zoom in here just with your center mouse wheel and go into that area very quickly and see it. Okay, now I know that a lot of traders, when they look at this and they think, wow, what time frame is this though? I don't understand it. Look at the dotted lines in here. It divvies up the chart. Every 5 minutes, we have a dotted line. Now, if I zoom out more though, now it turned into 15 minutes every dotted line. Okay, so that gives you a clue of what's going on in the price action. If you still need more, there's a couple different ways. We can use this time slice tool here, and we can look at, let's say, 30 minutes of data. So, and let's go to the current market and then 30 minutes of data. Okay, so this is a sliding window of 30 minutes of data. It's always 30 minutes from the left here to the right in the current market. This is 30 minutes of data in here. Okay, you can see that it's every 5 minutes here on my chart with the vertical dotted line, but it's 30 minutes in full here. All right, we use this a lot in Bookmap, using the chart range for data. Like for example, chart range volume profile. This is showing you the profile here, volume profile of the viewable range. So if I zoom out a little bit, now my viewable range is quite a bit more, and I'm getting a very different profile here, right? Okay, so that's how that works. Now, if you need to understand your time frames better, heck, you know, you can put a candlestick chart on here, 5 minute, 15 minute, whatever it is, and now you know, like every 5 minutes, this is what you can look at time this way as well. All right, so it's up to you, but yeah, you can zoom in and out very, very quickly in Bookmap. This is a really key feature we've had for quite a while. All right, there are all sorts of new features in here. Not finding drag mode, you don't need to, Milton. If you have 7.3, all you have to do is left click, hold, and drag. So try that on the historical chart. Does Bookmap support daily timeframes? So the way that a lot of traders, including myself, use Bookmap is we wake up in the morning, look at what stocks you do your stock filtering, and then start to punch them into Bookmap. All right, and you can get up to 24 hours of historical data if you like. Just note that depending on your machine and how many symbols you have open, it might start to slow it down a bit here. All right, so just keep that in mind. And manage your symbols to best suit you. All right, so let's move on. Bookmap is feature rich. We have many different features in here, and we continue to add them at a rather dizzying rate, to be honest. Let me just show you our add-on section in here, and I'll go to the pricing section as well in here. Just go to bookmap.com and click on pricing. All right, and these are the different versions in here. And you will get a special offer from Fausto at CTU. We have a partnership with them, and I'll mention those in just a minute, but this is the regular pricing here. Okay, so you can get monthly, you can get it yearly, or you can get it for lifetime. All right, so let's take a look at monthly options. Digital version is free. This connects to one cryptocurrency for free, and that data is live and it's free as well, the data. Everything's free with it. All right, now it also has a delayed feed for stocks and futures. So if you're on the fence, try this version here, see if you like it. You always have access to it. It gives a great overview. Just know that the data is going to be delayed here. If you want to try it in the real market, then yeah, you guys might be hearing a whistle in the background. It is a football field down below me. Anyway, sorry about that. The high-pitched sounds like birds or whistles really come through. Anyway, if it's bothersome, I can close the windows here. They're not open that much, but anyway. All right. let's go through it here. We went through the free version. The digital version here has delayed for data for futures and stocks. However, this connects to up to 20 different cryptocurrencies, or yeah, I believe it's 20, might be 10. And it's $19 a month. And that data, again, is free from the crypto markets. Now, Global and Global Plus, these are the ones that are going to be interest you. These connect to stocks, futures, and cryptocurrencies. Okay, both do. Now, the difference between Global and Global Plus is where we get into the add-ons. Okay, all the features that we've gone over so far to this point, all of them, both Global and Global Plus, have all of these features in here. Okay, now if we go back here though, let's go scroll down a little bit, and this is where you'll see the difference. If you want to trade from the Bookmap chart with one click or from the DOM, then you will need to have the Global Plus version. Okay, that's $99 a month versus $49 a month here. Then we have large lot tracker, strength indicator, imbalance indicator, absorption, sweeps indicator, the DOM Pro and Execution Pro. Now these will only work with, they will not work for stocks, and for futures, they'll only work with Rhythmic and CQG data. But these are new. It's a very professional DOM if you trade futures with Rhythmic or CQG. Anyway, all of these add-ons is what you're going to get with the Global Plus version. There's some really nice benefits with it. There are even more. If you really want to see the breakdown, scroll down a little bit more and click here, and you'll go down to and see all the breakdown here of what you get. All right, all the advanced add-ons, etc. And let me go over the add-ons page. If we go to from Bookmap, if you click on the More button up here, and then you go to the Marketplace here, add-ons. I'm sorry, not here. This is where we have a third-party vendors have made Bookmap add-ons, and you can get them there. We're going to go to the knowledge base here. Okay, the knowledge base is going to take us here to our user guide. We're in the user guide section here. Just click one over here on add-ons on the blue toolbar. You'll see all these add-ons in here. Now, the couple that I want to go over with you that are new in here that you probably haven't seen are the sweeps and the absorption indicator. These are fantastic. What it's going to show here is actually pretty simple and straightforward. It's going to sound complex, but it really isn't. Let me add the sweeps indicator here. Well, we'll start with absorption indicator. All right, well, first off, we already covered absorption a little bit here in the webinar, that when we trade into high liquidity and you see the sellers hitting the bid here, and suppose they just can't get through this area here. Well, that would be completely absorbed by the limit buy orders here. They've soaked up all of the market sellers in here, and there's no more sellers. So likely you're going to get a bounce out of that area if this is a really strong bid right here. Right now, you can see that in the heat map, but we're going to also show this with this indicator. So we'll click on the indicator here, and the way that we're going to display this is very, very simple. This is very straightforward. In 0.01 seconds, show me the traded volume that was greater than or equal to 100. Okay, now there are many in here, so we're going to have to filter this. Let's look at 1,000. Okay, looking better. All right, still quite a few. Let's look at 10,000. All right, that's starting to look a little bit better. Now we have a lot less instances in here to take a look at. Okay, so, well, in these areas in here on the bid, this is the condition. That condition was met here. Okay, in fact, it should match up here perfectly with high liquidity in here. Right, it just makes good sense. The heat map is showing high liquidity. Well, here at this point, at least 10,000 shares traded in 0.01 seconds, and then it's displayed in Bookmap. That's it. That's all it does. Okay, but what you can gather from this is pretty incredible. You can start to see the areas where it should match up with the heat map very nicely. And you can see that, yeah, there's been a lot of absorption in this instrument on the way down. Okay, there's also some on the offer in some of these little pockets as well. And this would be pretty typical of a trending day, just absorbing on the way down. That's just how it works in a trending market. Anyway, this is the absorption indicator. Now, we're going to show a variation of this called the sweeps indicator. Again, it is basically the same indicator. In fact, originally it was with two different modes. Traders wanted to separate them out into two separate indicators, so we did. All right, now this is what the sweeps indicator shows. Within 0.01 seconds, show me the traded volume that was greater than or equal to, let's put in 10, well, let's put in 5,000 here. Okay, now this is the key. Over a minimum of 2 levels. Let's actually bump that up a little bit. We'll put in 5 levels. So that means 5 price levels where this condition was true. And let's hit apply. Okay, so this is going to be an order book sweep. Let's see what it gives us here. Okay, now this is very, very indicative, again, of a stop run or a move down where people are getting stopped out. Okay, let me find a good one here. Yeah, this is pretty good here too. Okay, this is a stop run. All right, so this is an order book sweep. Okay, see the purple dots in here. These are sellers where that condition is true, over 5,000 within a very short time frame, over a minimum of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it just meets the requirement with 5 levels. Right, and we're showing that in here now. So we assume that, I mean, it could be a larger player who comes in and just drops the market. It's possible. We know though that this condition was met. Typically, this is indicative of a stop run. Okay, an order book sweep. It just takes all of the liquidity from this level up here all the way down very, very quickly, and that's usually where people are getting stopped out. Right, and it triggers the next level and those stops, et cetera, et cetera. Now that's going to help you understand where you might find areas of exhaustion, or if there's more selling below it, you're going to look for continuation. Right, typically you'll see order book sweeps kind of into high levels of liquidity, and then you usually get kind of a rebound, back up. And it kind of retests maybe back some of the areas where it came from. It depends. It really depends, again, on the context. But still, understanding this order flow phenomena is going to give you some insight to the players here. So we know that they're getting stopped out here, right? So having a retest back to this area later is, it gets pretty interesting, because if people are getting stopped out here, well, then what if we get buyers back up above that area, right? We might see a nice move back up into these pockets up in here. Okay, so just understanding what made up the order flow in here. If the majority are stops, well, that's kind of like it's not new selling, right? Now it's new selling down here, so we got the continuation, but in here it's not like it's new selling. So we're starting to understand again the condition of the orders in here. If you understand that that's not new selling, well, it's kind of like a vacuum in here. So coming back to retest these areas is that could be a strategy, for example. Right. So starting to understand where people are getting stopped out, et cetera, can be very, very helpful. With this sweeps indicator that leads to the understanding here. We can also look at both absorption and sweeps. Now, absorption, can we put that absorption indicator back on here? Absorption, we're looking for the liquidity heat map to match the absorption. Well, what if we don't get that? Well, that might be an iceberg order then. Okay, an order that is hidden from the order book. Now you see these are matching up pretty nicely. So I don't really see any iceberg orders in here. But suppose there was big transactions in here and we don't see any liquidity. And yet we get the absorption indicator telling us something here, right? Well, then something's amiss, right? It should line up with high liquidity. And if it doesn't, you know, it gives us some insight that that is potentially a pretty large iceberg order. All right. So yeah, I hope that's helpful for you guys. Play around with some of these indicators. I think you'll find them very insightful. And now the way that we like to kind of teach or preface it, I should say, with indicators is to understand these areas in here as a confluence. Is giving you additional information. Okay, what we covered to begin with here is what kind of rules the trading here. Market structure, the volume within that structure, and the liquidity within that structure. Right. So adding, cumulative volume delta in the sub chart, or some sweeps and absorption, as well as a handful of many others in here, which we just don't have time to cover today. But I did want to go over the sweeps and absorption for you guys, and start to maybe integrate that within your Bookmap charts. It's a confluence. All right, so find out what setting works for you. There are some really nice settings in here. For example, with both, there's an automatic mode in here that will basically take a moving average over time. It's like a moving average, basically. It's a standard deviation. And then you see how it filtered it up here automatically. I can't touch this here. Right now it's grayed out. It says 46.91. Well, it just gave me that with this multiplier of 10 over 30 minutes, and then make the filter for 4,691 shares, right? So, and filter that, and then that's it. All right, so hopefully that was clear. Was this taped or recorded? I'm not sure, Sylvia. You'll have to ask Josh or Fausto there. Any more questions in here? Now I know Josh and Fausto have a link to share with you guys. If you don't have Bookmap, I want to kind of cover that as well in here, the special offers that you're getting. So here's the link. Okay, and let me open or select all of that. Okay, this is not going to work for me. I've got to use incognito. No, it works for me. Okay, great. All right, so these are the special offers you're going to get. All right, now this is exclusive to CTU members here. What you get is these are longer term special offers. These are not on our website. Okay, so if you go to bookmap.com, you will not find them unless you use the link that Josh or Rich, I'm sorry, just put in there. But anyway, the special offers here, like I said, you will not find them here on bookmap.com. You will just find these yearly, monthly, and lifetime options in here. All right, and so the special offer are longer term, little longer term, quarterly, annually, or lifetime. This is what you get. Okay, so with the quarterly option here, it's for Global Plus, which is usually 99. Let's say it's $100 a month, usually $100 a month. Okay, so for the first 3 months, instead of it being $300 here, it's going to be half that. So it'll be 147 or 99 times 3. Then for the following 3 months after that, it will go back to the regular price. So basically you get half off for the first 3 months. Okay, so that's one option. The other option here is global plus annual. Okay, that would cost you somewhere around $1,000, but basically you're going to get half off again here for that first year. Okay, then the next year it'll bounce back up to its regular price. Okay, so these are pretty nice here. This is the best one though, and I'll explain why. This is global lifetime, and now it's not global plus lifetime. Notice the difference. Okay, it's global lifetime. All right, and it does not include all those add-on indicators for life. Okay, but it will include them all for the first year for free. So this one offers the most flexibility here because you get to try out all those add-ons for free for a year to see if you like them. If you like them, you can subscribe to just the add-ons monthly for $50 a month. So that's flexibility there. Plus, you also have the flexibility if you want to get the Global Plus lifetime, you can upgrade and pay another $1,000 and then get Global Plus lifetime at that time after the first year. It's up to you, right? But you have more flexibility with that one. Okay, so yeah, if you're interested, you know, maybe try it for a month first, see if you like it. If you're, you know, I know Fausto and Josh and Rich use this every day. So if you're already set, then go for one of the longer term options here and just get started. We have all sorts of information in here once you get started. Let me go to the education page here. Okay. And then go to, it actually takes us back to the home page in here, and we're going to just scroll down a little bit and go to our education. This is our onboarding in here. So this would be your steps to go through getting started here. So it's at bookmap.com/education. We have basics in here. These are very short videos and things to go through. So it kind of outlines it all for you. What we went through just today in the beginning with market mechanics and micro or structural areas in here, these videos will cover in more detail in here. So I would encourage you to go through the educational course. It will provide a very nice foundation for you to take further. We have a community in here. We have a Discord channel, a forum, Twitter, YouTube channel. We have daily advanced live webinars in here. And then further learning, our knowledge base that I showed you, as well as marketplace and our blog, etc. Right. So a lot of stuff in here. We really want to help you on board and answer any questions that you have with Bookmap. All right. Let's see here. Any more questions? Yes, all of this well, it depends on what version you're getting there. The Global Plus version will have all those add-ons, Robert. Okay, is there a way to lock in horizontal lines? Yeah, you can draw your horizontal lines in here using the drawing tools. Okay, and you know, no matter what you zoom or whatever, it's still in there. You would have to come back in here if you want to edit them. And go into edit mode here and then click on it. Okay, and then you can move it around or delete it or whatever you want to do. Okay. Are all of these settings available in the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim version? No. That's what Fausto had alluded to earlier, saying that that this is has a lot more flexibility in it. So for example, the sweeps and absorption, they do not have that. Okay, there are many add-on indicators they do not have. All right, so that's why Fausto was kind of promoting the Bookmap desktop version here. Now there is one thing to understand in here, and this is important. Bookmap, the Global and Global Plus does not include data. Okay, you will need to add data. We're just the platform. You will need to add the data here. And the data subscription will be with DX feed. All right, there's also Omni feed now that's offered as well. So yeah, please make sure you understand that that data is required to run this here. You can see down here, powered by dev experts. Okay, that's the DX feed for stocks, US equities. And you can see under here, Apple at DX feed. All right, so you'll need to make a connection here to DX feed data, and you'll need to subscribe to DX feed data in order to get the data here within Bookmap. All right, so just know that. And let's see here. Is Global Plus Lifetime one-time charge? Yes, that is correct. And then add-ons, you don't, Sylvia, once you get Global Plus Lifetime, that's it, you're done. You won't have to get anything else. Okay. I mean, there are other add-ons in the marketplace. If, you know, these are done by third-party vendors though. If you are interested in some of the things that they offer, you can get that over there. Yeah, you can have multiple COB columns in here if you want, Warren. It's up to you. In fact, let's just do that. We're going to insert another one in here. You can go to town in here. You can insert all sorts of columns and you can configure them in different ways. So let's say you want to aggregate the order book. That means it'll take the best offer, add it to the next best offer, the next best, and you can see it just adds up, right? A lot of traders like this to see imbalances in the book and understand, like, if someone comes and sweeps the order book, where might it go? Where are 10,000 shares? You know, you can see that this is obviously aftermarket here. You know, 10,000 shares is, it's way up here. You're not going to see that during the market. And we can just take a look at that quickly. In fact, yeah, here you go. So here's 10,000 shares just up here now. Right, so very much closer here. Whatever you want to do, you can limit the order book as well. You want to look at just the bid, just the ask. You split out the data. I mean, there's all sorts of, you know, ways to configure it here. Bars, numbers, bars and numbers, extended or not extended. If you want to limit it to like 10 or 100 or, you know, whatever here, right? Okay, up to you. What is the cost of the DX feed data? So the DX feed data, there's different packages. Depends on what you want to get. Okay, we recommend getting the most ECNs that you can. DX feed data ECNs would include EDGX as well as NASDAQ. All right, so I believe the EDGX is, I think it's 49 bucks a month. Okay, just for EDGX. NASDAQ is going to be 69 bucks a month, or you can get them both together, and that would be 119 a month. All right, now that's in addition to the cost of Bookmap. Now, if you get the Global Plus for lifetime, or if you get the Global Lifetime, then the DX feed data would be your only cost. All right, that's out of our hands. There's nothing we can do there. That's just the cost of doing business for traders, for trading. Okay, so yeah, we went over the Sylvia, the data cost there. If you tried Bookmap Global Plus and liked it, could you join the Global Lifetime? No, we've never done it that way, Mike. No, it would be the opposite direction. You can always upgrade, but you can't downgrade like that. All right, so let's see here. Any other questions? There is another player now in here that you can get data from, and that is OmniFeed. Now, let's go over that here, because this is the first time we've talked about it with Fausto's group here. If we go to bookmap.com and then we scroll down here, go to connectivity here. Okay, connectivity for, let's go to stocks here, click here. DX feed is here. Okay, OmniFeed is here. Now you can see TradeStation and Interactive Brokers are listed here. However, you cannot connect to them for data. Okay, you can only is very much the opposite. You are going to be sending them your data, your trade data. So with DXFeed or OmniFeed, you can route your trades. I'm not sure about OmniFeed yet, but I know with DXFeed, you can route your trading activity from Global Plus into your TradeStation live account or Interactive Brokers live account. Okay, but you're not connecting to them for their stock data. Cedros for Brazilian market, Quote Media is for the London and Canadian exchanges, and OmniFeed, this is the new player in here. They offer ARCA as well. Okay, so that's a huge, NYSE ARCA data, which is really nice. Okay, whereas DXV data doesn't have ARCA, right? So they have NASDAQ and EDGX. Let's click on this and go to the page here, and you can read about it in here. NASDAQ, NYSE ARCA, CME group, right? Well, CME is for futures. Anyway, this should answer your questions in here. All right. So just click on the from connectivity here. You can click on these to get the information that you want. Here's the DXV data in here. All right. Okay. All right, guys. Well, anyway, let's see. I've been going for a little over an hour. We started at 4:15. Right. Yeah. So just almost an hour here. What's the cost of OmniFeed? Let's see here. I'm not sure. Oh, here we go. Right here. Okay. US stocks, 98 a month. And this is what you get. So this is a pretty nice deal. Okay. You get NASDAQ total view. You guys have seen Fausto over at the NASDAQ, the big screen there in Times Square, which is pretty cool. He's on TV, he's doing his presentation there, and they're looking at that total view NASDAQ product. Just note that you're only looking at the ECN of NASDAQ data for that product. Okay, that's it. That's the only ECN you're looking at, right? And that's pretty limited. Okay, the market's made up of a lot more than just NASDAQ. Okay, NASDAQ is a big one, no doubt about it. To get ARCA as well in here, you're getting quite a bit here, right? So that's what you're getting here. You can also get your futures. You can get the bundle of both if you want. Okay. Is this special good with CTU at any time, Carol? I believe so. Yeah. Yeah. So the longer term, these here. I'm sorry. Let's find it again. That's not it. Well, oh no, I have it here. Yeah, these special offers here. They are always available. Okay, for CTU, and they're Rich just put the link back in there for you if you want to check it out. Okay, I know that you guys also have it, Rich, on your website too, so you can also send them there. All right. So anyway, guys, like, one of the things, like, just to kind of go over and highlight again in here, to really understand here, the participants in the auction, okay, in the market. This is what we're trying to gain insight into. We want to understand what does the market think about this instrument, okay? Where is price going to go? Okay, and by being able to access all of the price action, and then all of the volume precisely within that price action, as well as where the limit buy and sell orders, the passive orders are, and understanding that context in here, this is what's going to lend the edge, right? So in here, there was no reason to go long in here whatsoever. There's nothing in here that tells us. Even this little pocket in here, sometimes these will come up and trade into like 157 and break the structure and get a lot of people to go long and then to curl around and then just really plummet to the downside. It didn't even do that. It didn't even have the opportunity to do that. Okay, so as once you see those more of those sellers starting to come in again, you're looking for this to go lower and test into 155 here. Okay, that's a quick dollar, and there's still no reason to get out. It traded this liquidity. Even the pullback here is very shallow, right? Again, market structure. What if the pullback was really strong? What if it pulled back up to here, right? Well, it's still bearish. Okay, what if the price action was in all of this area in here, right? It's still bearish. It's got to come up above here, and we got to see big dots up there. We've got to see big volume dots pulling that market higher here. That's what you're looking for by the market participants. And then you're looking for them to also support it on the bid. You're looking for them to come under with high liquidity underneath it in these areas here, right? They're chasing it. And that's giving you insight. There's nothing like that in here today. Okay, it's just bearish the whole way through. Apple, we only went through one stock, but I think it was a good example. You know, I jumped around earlier, and all of these are different variations on the same theme as Apple. Okay, all right. Thank you very much, everybody. I think we've answered all your questions. We went through and reviewed a bit of what we talked about earlier, and I showed you the sweeps and absorption, and then also covered the data, the costs of Bookmap, and the special offer for you guys. Okay, thanks, Mark. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Rich. And we will catch up with Fausto. Fausto is going to do a Pro Trader webinar with us on Thursday, so if you want to check that out. Okay, it's going to be Thursday at 2 p.m. East Coast time. It's going to be over on our Discord channel. So let me just get that out here and show you that. So if you go to bookmap.com, you can see right up here at the top. This will take you right to the Discord channel. And here I can put the link into the chat here as well. Okay, if you guys are interested, that's where we're going to hold it, but we're also going to broadcast it to YouTube. All right, so we got to get Fausto all set up in our Discord channel. That's where we're going to meet. Yeah, if you're interested in seeing that at 2 p.m. on Thursday, okay, the 15th. So just in a couple of days. And Fausto is going to go through how he reads the order flow. All right, guys, thanks for coming, everybody, and we'll catch up next time.